Hi, I'm a composer. It's my channel, stuff like that. And yeah, hello. A few days ago, I finished reading a book called The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, and it was pretty good. And there will be spoilers to that book in this video, so if you have not read that book, I do recommend you read that book. Um, yeah, so I was looking on YouTube and I was like, uh, if this is a movie, the soundtrack to this would be great. But unfortunately, the movie hasn't been dropped yet, and I really can't wait until that happens to listen to the soundtrack. Cause come on, fantasy soundtracks are always great. But yeah, so I decided to make my own. Um, Now, if you're watching this, you are probably one of two people. Either one, you have read the book and are looking for music to go with the book, which in that case, then you should probably skip to whatever whatever timestamp I have on screen right now. Or two, um, you are a musician or a composer and you want to hear my music and my music theory bantering. So, either way, I've got you guys covered. So, for the main melody, I have violins and flutes playing the main melody, and we have pizzicato and staccato low strings as a support. Um, I figured because, it's a romance novel, um, I figured it would be a good waltz. Because when you when you think of romance, you think of waltz. Or when I think of romance, I think of waltz. Well, whatever. Um, so yeah, we have two instruments playing different melodic lines. We have the flutes first, and we have the violins and cello second. And this is a representation of our two main characters, Celia and Marco, who are the two focus of the book. Now, everything else is a representation of the circus itself, which, if you've read the book, you will know that it's kind of like a playground or like a chessboard for Marco and Celia to be in, basically. It's not going to make much sense if you haven't read the book, but that's why you should read the book. So yeah, we have Celia for flutes, we have Marco for violin and cello, and we have that. I decided to add chimes because of the clock made by her Frederick Thiessen. Honestly, he was probably my favorite character, and I was kind of sad that he died. But oh well. By the way, if you noticed, um, because there are multiple flute parts, but only a few violin parts, um, it's I harmonized the flutes to make it sound more fuller, because I think Celia's magic is like actually real comparing to Marco's, which is just illusions. And you can notice like the intertwining flutes and the intertwining violins and flutes. Yeah, everything is kind of connected in a way. At first, I wanted to make it at either 60 BPM or 120 BPM so that I can have the chime every second or every minute. So that way it would be accurate to like a real clock with a chime. But it wouldn't really fit, so I guess I just am stuck with this, where I have a chime going every 4 bars. So yeah, so my thought about this was that originally I wanted flutes, um, and violet and cello be two different melody passage lines, and I want them to kind of like merge into each other, if that makes sense. I think I did an okay job at least. Um, because if you've read the book, which I do suggest you read, you know that Marco, Celia, they come together at the circus, and so that's the point where those two meet. Um, so yeah, we have once again the low strings and the pizzicatos in the double basses acting as like the circus, where it's basically like in the background. It's not important really. I really wanted to incorporate a music box or glockenspiel or some sort of bells, because like I don't know, like the night circus, like come on, like you I don't know. I think a music box would have been really good in this, but I'm just not really too sure how to incorporate a music box into this, so I opted out of the music box. And yeah, later we have horns and trombone coming in, and you might notice it's a smooth horn slash trombone and trombone, because I don't really want anything sharp in here, which I know there's a lot of staccatos, but I don't really want anything sharp in here, if that makes sense. So I opted for like smooth brass. It's not anything heroic or anything, it's just a passage line. And so this French horn passage, it basically is a I can't speak. Representation of Bailey, who is the person who, in the end, connects the circus together. So yeah, I had this French horn melody play, and after that French horn, the melody plays, the flute and the violins, they kind of merge into one single melody, with the French horn as a support. And yeah, I think I did that pretty well. I wanted to have a lot of minor 1, minor 5 chord progressions, because minor 1, minor 5 are just like the saddest the saddest chord progression, and unfortunately I wasn't able to do too much of that. But yeah, I kind of wanted it as a classical waltz instead of like a movie music waltz, just because it would fit like the 1902 era really well. I think like a movie music would, like, it wouldn't be too much, but I'm not sure if it would be as fitting, you know. Also, this part where I have the double stops on the solo violin, that's actually an idea that came from Camille Saint-Saëns' Danse Macabre, which, if you watch this channel, you would know that is one of probably my favorites. And Danse Macabre really does sound like a music that would fit this book. And yeah, I think the ending could have been a little bit better. I think the ending could have been a little bit more dramatic, a little bit more grand, a little bit more full. But the way I ended it is kind of, I think it fits because it's kind of unclear what happens. Everything kind of dissipates a little bit, and it's not as full as it was. And so, yeah. Also, I did not, no sarcasm here, but I did not make the first half of the song boring just because the first half of the book was boring. Like, okay, as much as I like the book, I gotta admit, like, come on, Morgenstern, like, just that first half was a little bit underwhelming. Like, it was a little bit slow, but oh well. I guess I can't really complain too much. So yeah, I enjoy this thing.